All right, merger is our next definition. If you look at the root word, it's merge. In other words, to bring together, okay? That's an easy way to do it. Always look at your root words, people. It tells you what the word means most of the time. All right, combining companies to create a single larger corporation, all right? I got two companies, put them together, big old corporation, okay? Or maybe it's 20 companies, and they come together to make a huge corporation. That's a merger. Trust. When several businesses unite to form a monopoly. Now, you should already know that the word monopoly means that when one business or industry gains nearly complete control of an entire industry, okay? Business or person, I'm sorry. So a trust company is like this, okay? We're going to get several businesses together, and they're going to act together, even though they're separate businesses. They act together as one business. So you might have 20 businesses all together in one trust company, and they control the entire market together. They don't fight each other. They don't compete with each other. They are simply controlling the market. Well, if you have complete control of the entire market, if you have a monopoly, you can basically charge whatever you want. That's the purpose of a monopoly. Now, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, the word trust basically meant monopoly because all the monopolies almost were trust companies. So those words are kind of interchangeable. It means almost the same thing. All right, one of the big things in this chapter, robber barons, okay? Robber barons have another name. Now, this has never happened before in your definitions. This is something you need to know. Whenever you see a term, and then you have a term in closed caption like this, that means that either one of these terms could be the one on your test, okay? So this definition goes with these two terms. You have to know both of them are synonyms for each other, okay? So robber barons, captains of industry, okay? In other words, those rich businessmen that steer the ship of industry. They are the leaders. They are the billionaires of America. All right. Businessmen who use monopolies and industry to become the richest men on earth. That's what a robber baron is. Now, if you like that idea, if you like the idea of somebody controlling everything and being the big baller or whatever you want to call it, then you'd call him a captain of industry. It's respectful. However, if you hated the people that were in charge, you probably would call them a robber baron, okay? In other words, they are a baron, kind of like a little king or something like that, nobleman from Europe, who is robbing America. They are holding their monopoly over your head. They are taking advantage of the average American, okay? All right, the next two are business models that you need to know, okay? And let's go ahead and get started with them, okay? Now, vertical integration, okay? Integration is basically coming together, right? So it's the opposite of segregation, which is splitting apart. Vertical. Okay, what does vertical mean? Well, if you remember from elementary school, vertical means you're going up and down. However, when you go side to side, that is horizontal movement, okay? So we have vertical integration, okay? Doing like this, okay? So when a corporation buys the companies that supply it with its needed markets or raw material. All right. I know that sounds very technical. Let me explain it to you, okay? So there was this guy named Andrew Carnegie, okay? Andrew Carnegie is from Scotland, and he was a bridge builder. Eventually, he realized that the only way he can make bridges big enough and strong enough in America is to build them out of steel. So he starts his own steel corporation. Well, he realizes that in order to get the cheapest steel and the best product, he had to own everything in the chain that it took to make and manufacture and distribute the steel. So for instance, what do you need to get steel? Well, Carnegie knew that he needed iron, which we already talked about, and he needed coal. So instead of buying iron and coal and paying someone to melt that down, he did a few things. He bought iron mines, the whole mine. He bought coal mines. He bought the transportation to move that to his plant, which he also bought. He's cutting out all the middlemen. He owns everything, okay? So from his coal mine, it gets delivered to the plant. From his iron mine, it gets delivered to the plant. They melt down the iron, and with blowing the cold air in with the Bessemer process, they create the cheapest steel possible. All of his plants use the same process, so all of his steel was exactly the same quality. You could trust that when you bought Carnegie Steel, that it was the good stuff, okay? Anyway, so that's vertical integration for you, okay?